Shalom to the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and welcome back to another episode of Torah Tuesday. And tonight's topic is going to be simple. Just doing some reading, and just came across the tribe of Levi. My spirit was kind of vibing on them a little bit as far as reading, a little history, and came across and I was thinking, I said, man, this tribe of Levi was a very special tribe. To the point where the tribe of Levi, where the Most High said, join unto me, I had to sit back and think about, like, wow, you know, join unto a power that created the heaven, the stars, the moon, the sun, and everything that's in earth and everything that's in space and beyond space. And to have a power like that to be joined unto is something that, you know, can't be even phantom. Hollywood ain't even got the thoughts or how powerful that a certain people, meaning the children of Israel, out of the 12 tribes, are how the tribe of Levi had this power. So, just doing some reading, doing some catching up, and I just started, putting together certain precepts, and certain things had stood out that kind of caught my attention. And one of them was like, just being joined into a power that powerful. So let's start off in the book of Genesis real quick. Let's start off in the book of Genesis. Real quick. Now I have to start in Genesis because I want to start with, Leah and Rachel. Just want to touch bases on them because the Heavenly Father, He gave our foremothers the insight on naming their children. And that's something that, that is well known within the children of Israel. We give our kids their name according to their characteristics, according to their spirit, according to our, family history. A lot of us could say, that's an old soul. And then they would think of a name, going back in time where our ancestors, were, you know, uh, had their characteristics. So when you're dealing with, Israel and the naming, it's very crucial and it's very popular within our nation. Okay. But right here, the Most High had put this spirit on Rachel and Leah as they were having our forefathers, the 12 tribes. Um, and at this particular time, like I said, just doing some reading, and that's another thing what Torah does. It actually encourages, our people to go back and read the first 5 books. So we start off at Genesis chapter 29, and I'm going to start at verse 31. And I'm quite sure, if you're an Israelite, I'm quite sure you've read the story of Jacob bringing forth the 12 tribes and how our forefathers and foremothers, came about on raising these boys to be the great nation we are today. Genesis chapter 29 and verse 31. Is that 31? Yes, 31 I want. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. So once again, I'm quite sure we've read the story, and if you haven't, you should go back and read it. And the big controversy here is Leah and Rachel was in competition with one another. And when they said Leah was hated, meaning that Jacob didn't really hate her, it just said he didn't favor her over Rachel. That's the concept of that. He didn't hate her, but he just didn't favor over Rachel. Rachel, he worked 7 years for. Leah was given to him over those 7 years. So once again, you haven't read the story, it's a beautiful story. You need to go back and catch up on some reading. Let's skip down to verse 34. So they said that Leah was hated, but the Most High had her to bring forth these sons, and Rachel was named barren, couldn't have any kids. Verse 34. Now we're going to get into the tribe of Levi now. Now the point I'm trying to make here is that Leah had already put forth the name and the characteristics of Levi. Now this is before the Most High announced it that this particular tribe will be joined unto him, because that's the meaning of his name, Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me. Very key. See, joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. Okay, so the Most High had already planned this out, not only for Levi, but for all 12 tribes. He've already put the spirit upon our foremothers to give this name to these boys that were born. Okay, I'm going to move on. Go to Numbers real quick. Numbers chapter 1. And I'm going to read verse 47. So the name was given unto him, and his name was Levi, and the other children too. Start at verse 47. Sorry about the scrolling. So, along with Levi's history, Levi was not given an inheritance, because the Heavenly Father said, you would do the service, you would do my service, right? Not only the service of the Most High, but the service unto the children of Israel as well. So they wasn't given an inheritance, meaning a land that the other brothers had received. And as time went on, as the brothers received their portion of land within the land of Israel, the Levites were designated to stay within the suburbs of each landmass of the children of Israel. Because remember, they still had to do the service of the Most High. They had to do the judgments. They had to do the sacrificing for the children of Israel within different providence within our nation. They had to do a lot. And with this burden that they had, it wouldn't even, I wouldn't even say a burden, correction. I wouldn't even say a burden. With this gift, because it's not a burden when you're serving the almighty power. So I stand corrected on that. With this gift that was given to this particular tribe, one has to think that, how can, us Israelites today proclaim that we're from that particular tribe and how powerful this tribe was, or any other tribe, when the Heavenly Father has scattered us? Because you got to remember now, even when we was in the Gold Coast of Africa, we probably knew or had a better idea of us being part of a certain tribe. But once they had gathered us up and they put us on them slave ships, there was no documentation saying that we went to Sierra Leone, excuse me for that, I can't pronounce it, or Ghana or Nigeria, where we were scattered, that particular tribe dwelled in that area. It's the same way here that a lot of Israelites try to say that just because you're in a certain landmass, you're from that particular tribe. That cannot be. That cannot be when we were all on that slave ship. And then once we got to the northern part of the Americas, we were scattered. They didn't keep records to say what tribe we were from. They just put all of us on there with the suffering, with the abuse that we were taking. That was far from our minds. we were wondering, like, why are we in the condition of this hell that we're in? But we still hold on to a lot of traditions, right? But to actually say that you came from a particular tribe, that is very hard to do. Just because you are located, or your forefathers were located in certain regions, meaning like if your forefathers was in the Caribbean, because we have to remember when them slave ships landed on this northern hemisphere, it landed in Brazil. It landed in South and Central America before they even made up to the northern part of America. All the Caribbean, all the islands that's out there, that's actually where those slave ships arrived first. But then by the time it made it to the Americas, we were already scattered abroad. So my point is that it's hard to identify ourselves as a particular tribe once we came off from cargo slave ships. Hell, a lot of us just waking up and realizing that we Israelites. Okay. So the point I'm also trying to make as well is just focus on this particular tribe and how powerful they are and the service that the Most High has given them. Numbers chapter 1 and verse 47. But the Levites, after the tribe of their fathers, were not numbered among them. For the Lord had spoken unto Moses, saying, Only thou shalt not number the tribe of Levi, neither take the sum of them among the children of Israel. But thou shalt appoint the Levites over the tabernacle of testimony, and over all the vessels thereof, and over all things that belong to it. They shall bear the tabernacle, and all the vessels thereof, and they shall minister unto it, and shall encamp around about the tabernacle. So, the Most High just putting in the structure and the orders in which he wanted all the tribes to be in a certain order, but this particular tribe, like I said, this special tribe of Levi, he said that don't number them, for they are going to do my service, my duty, and only them, and only that particular tribe. Verse 51. And when the tabernacle setteth forth, the Levites shall take it down. And when the tabernacle is to be pitched, the Levites shall set it up. And the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. See, this is how particular the Most High had things. Now, when it says the stranger, you got to remember, during this time, there was a mixed multitude when we came out of Egypt. But also, Israel is called a stranger as well. You have to keep those things in mind. But one of the key things is that it says that when the tabernacle needs to be set up, then the Levites should do it. If the tabernacle needs to be put down, then the Levites should take it down. All of the vessels inside of the tabernacle, the Levites, the tribe of Levi, will take care of those things. Okay. All the sacrifices that had to be done, your peace offerings, your goodwill offerings, your sin offerings, all of those had to be conducted by this particular tribe. Now, the reason I say this is because, like I said, once I was just doing my reading, then I just it was on my spirit to see just how special this particular tribe was within our nation. Verse 52. And the children of Israel pitched their tents, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own standard, throughout their host. All right. I'm going to go to verse 16. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1 through 11. Now, in this particular point I'm trying to bring out as well is that, Israel seems always to buck up, always seems to go against the grain, even if it's coming from the Most High God. Now, this is when Koah, came up against Moses. Now, Kohath, he was a Levite himself, but the Most High, like I said, has certain structure, even within that tribe, that they were to conduct certain things. For an example, there were only a particular of Aaron's sons were to go into the Holy of Holy at a certain time of the year, right? Then you had certain Levites that only did the shewbread. Then you had certain Levites that only did the incense. So it was structured to a way, this is how the Most High wanted things to be done. Now, in this instance, what I'm about to read is these certain Levites, as well as Israel, came up against the orders of Moses, which was given by the Most High as instructions. But the point I'm trying to make, I'm building up to show you just how powerful this tribe is. When the Most High said, join unto me, meaning you're going to do my service. I run things. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Adoram, the son of Elab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel. Now check out this number, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in their congregation, men of renown. So goes back to one of our questions we had on the Sabbath service as far as camps is concerned. There have always been camps. Right here, when you look into it, it's telling you that there's camps there. It's when it says famous in the congregation, men of renown, there was always certain camps and certain cliques. But understand this, even though you may have that, the law sets things in order. No camp and all camps, even now today, will agree that the structure of our nation is the commandments, right? We can all agree. Doctrine is one thing, but those laws are completely another. We will come together when it comes down to implementing these laws and commandments, because we know that that is the source of life for the children of Israel, period. Okay, that's in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7. Men of renown, verse 3. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto him, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy. Isn't that something? So they knew that we are a holy people, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. See, every one of us, and the Lord is among all of us. But you take too much upon yourself, Moses. This is how Kohath is coming. Not Kohath, Korah is coming to Moses. Therefore, when lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. And when Moses heard it, he fell on his face. Now that's one thing about Moses, though, as you continue to read, because Moses was a humble man, but you got to realize too, Moses was getting instructions from the Most High. So anytime he looking at them saying, wait a minute, it's 200 and what? How many of them was it? He said that there were 250 men of renown. So we talking about Israel coming in, men of renown, men of stature within our nation. But Moses was saying, hey, man, look, you're not really coming up against me. You coming against the Most High. I get my instructions from the Heavenly Father. So that's when he knew that there was going to be a problem, and the problem was going to be all 200 of those princesses. Most High is about to start putting people to death, period. So verse 8 again, and Moses said, let's go back up. Like, where is it? Oh, there he is. Wait a minute. Here we are. Verse 4. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. And he spoke unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come nigh unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come nigh unto him. See, and Moses went back at him too. Moses said, him who are holy, as well as the Most High who he has chosen. Verse 6, do this, take you censers, Korah, and all his company. Verse 7, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord hath chosen, he shall be holy. Ye shall take, well, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. So now he's questioning even this particular tribe that the Most High have chosen. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that the jealousy, right? The jealousy that falls in between our tribe just because the instructions of the Most High and whom the Most High have chosen to be this particular special tribe. Verse 8, and Moses said unto Korah, hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi. See, that's why he said, ye sons of Levi. Verse 9, seeming it be a small thing unto you that the God of Israel have separated you from the congregation of Israel. See, that's why I say a special tribe, because it said the Most High has separated them from the congregation of Israel. That's special. That's the key. So how can we, in this day and time, label a certain people of a certain region to be called this special tribe of Levi within our nation? We can't do it. We can't do it. There's no proof. We can go spiritually, but that's as far as you can go. But even that, we don't know, knowing the conditions of how we came over here on them cargo slave ships. Verse 9, seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel have separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you nigh, check this out, nigh to himself to do the service of the tabernacles of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. That's a big job. That is a big job. Verse 10, and he have brought thee nigh to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also. For which cause both thou and all thy companies are gathered together against, listen to say, against the Lord. And what is Aaron that ye mumble against him? Isn't that something? So Moses threw it back. He said, and who you think Aaron is? The Most High chose him. When he chose me, he chose Aaron. But you got to understand too, Aaron was Moses' brother as well. See, so they came up against the Most High. What the Most High did was, Most High had said, you know what? Enough is enough. Don't worry, Moses. They ain't coming up against you. They're coming up against me. So I just wanted to bring that out. You know, like I said, I encourage Israel to go and to continue to read into it, and and get your perspective of how the Most High is going to put that spirit of understanding upon you. So I want to go into Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 1. So let me see where I'm at. Yeah, Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 1. Let me see if that's what I want. Let me go back to Deuteronomy 10 because that's going to be my next one. Deuteronomy 10 and 8. Okay. Yeah, I'll do 16 first. Deuteronomy chapter 16 in verse 1. 18 in verse 1. Deuteronomy 18 in verse 1. So now I just want to touch on some of the duties that the Most High had endowed upon the tribe of Levi, as well as point out that why they don't have an inheritance, amongst our nation. So Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 1. The priest of the Levites and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance in Israel. Why? Is because we had read earlier when the Most High said he has brought them unto him, right? They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire and his inheritance. Verse 2. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord, check this out, the Lord is their inheritance, as he have said unto them. See, so it said the Lord is their inheritance. Once again, that power. Because we have to realize too that when you start reading about Levi and their duties, remember they had the breastplate. So when they will, give a certain judgment, right, and this breastplate that had the 12 stones on it, whatever the situation was, the Most High would give them insight to give righteous judgment. Now, if you look at Hollywood, they always want to have like certain people with certain powers and telepathy and could tell the future and all this crap. Well, guess what? That's garbage compared to how this particular tribe was, Levi. They had that power, but they had it from the source, the creator of everything. See, that's why the Most High said, your inheritance belong unto me. You don't have to be concerned about, the land and things like that. No, you're going to be too busy serving me and giving my instruction to the children of Israel and doing the will that I want and following my commandments and keeping Israel upon the right track of my commandments. That's a heavy, big job. That's a huge job within our nation. So just wanted to point that out. I'm going to go to chapter 10, Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 8. 10 and 8. At that time, the Lord separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord to minister unto him. Okay. And to bless in his name unto this day. That's the key word I want you to say. Until this day. So the tribe of Levi, just like the other tribes, we're here, but they're scattered. You can't pinpoint them. And you know what? And it's, when you start to think about it, and how the Most High had this thing to form, as far as us not really knowing what tribe we're from. Can you imagine Esau having that information? If they say through the DNA, through our DNA, he can locate certain of the children of Israel to certain tribes. I don't know. I can't speak on that. I just seen a video that they said they could. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is how low down and dirty Esau, the so-called white man, is. If he could get his hands on those particular men and women within our nation, knowing they have a special connection to the Creator, he would do what his nature is. He would either use them for his advantage or he would destroy them. And he has a history of destroying things that he can't control or something that is a threat to him. So, in a way, it's a good thing that we're scattered. That way, him, and these other nations won't be able to get their claws upon, this special tribe within our nation, Levi. Okay, that's kind of like my thoughts. What I was thinking, I'm like, wow, this low down dirty bastard. He would try to gather up, that particular tribe and use them for his purpose. Okay, verse 9. I'm gonna read verse 8 again. It says, at that time, the Lord separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord, to minister unto him, and to bless, not that bless in his name unto this day. That's another key thing. To bless in his name. He would want the tribe of Levi, if he could get his hands on them. Well, he has his period, but he would try to have them to bless him. Isn't that something? Because they had that power. It says to stand before the Lord, to minister unto him, listen, and to bless in his name unto this day. Verse 9, therefore, Levi have no part nor inheritance with his brethren. The Lord is his inheritance, according as the Lord thy God promised him. See, anytime the Most High promised something, he don't go back on his word. So Levi still holds this certain persona about them, right? That is glorious because the Most High is glory. So just keep that in mind. Something to think about. Let me get Exodus. The book of Exodus. I want verse 32 and verse 26. Yeah, man. Like I said, you do some reading, you start to, let the Most High, kind of give you certain thoughts, and as you're reading, and you start putting precept upon precept, line upon line, and then you really get a grasp on how special our people are, especially when you start to see the characteristics of each individual tribe and how they receive their names. Verse 32 and verse 26. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Now that's a very key right there. It says, who's on the Lord's side? Right? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. Isn't that something? Now the key word is, he said, all the sons of Levi. So the Most High had that spirit in them already. If it's joined unto the Most High, that you are joined unto me, there was no doubt. There was no doubting about, oh, maybe we, I don't know, a second guess. Nah, that spirit that was in them to join themselves to the Most High, to do his service. And it says, all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. So, like I said, no second guess. It's in their spirit, just as of today, because the Most High promised them. He promised them that you and your service I have chosen. So with that, Israel, once again, here on Torah Tuesday, my goal is to encourage you to get this right. If it go back. Let's see here. My goal is to encourage you to continue to read. I just kind of hit here and hit there to maybe inspire you to go and, like I said once before, to dive into them first 5 books as well as the whole Bible itself. right? So that we can stay connected. And with that, I say shalom.